Hi, my name is Nichole Thoms and I'm Yupik Eskimo, and today we are making salmon fried rice. I was born and raised on salmon, and so we grew up eating smoked salmon every single day. And I picked salmon bellies because I recently learned last year commercial fishermen are throwing them away. So I want to honor the fish bellies today by cooking with them. And the ingredients today that we are using is sesame oil, minced garlic, and on the FDPIR box list, we're using carrots, peas, corn, long grain white rice, and then the salmon bellies that I mentioned earlier we're using, but you can use frozen salmon, whatever salmon you have left over in the fridge. We're using black seaweed, green onions, and soy sauce. You want to start by turning your pan on medium-high heat, and you want to start off with your sesame oil and get that heating up. And the reason why you want to heat it up is because you don't want anything to stick to the pan. And we'll get our garlic ready while it's heating up. I just watch for the oil to spread, and you can tell when the oil is hot enough to add the garlic. It's probably hot enough. And then you add some garlic, and you can add whatever you want to add for garlic, whatever your heart desires. I did around 3 tablespoons, give or take. And then you want to stir up the garlic and cook it until it's fragrant. Cook it maybe for about a minute. Next, we're going to add our carrots, our peas, and our corn. And we want to cook this for about 2 minutes until it's heated throughout and gets a nice little sear on it. You can use any vegetables you want in a fried rice. It's however you want to make it. Usually I like to use whatever ingredients I have left in my fridge, and that makes a great fried rice so you don't waste any food. You know when it's seared when it starts to get some color, almost like a caramelized color on the veggies. So you can hear the vegetables starting to sear now. If you want to use frozen vegetables, it's more convenient here in Alaska. But if you can go out and harvest your own carrots, I'm sure if you're from Alaska, you know the carrots here are delicious when they grow. If you use canned or frozen vegetables, it might take a little bit longer to sear your vegetables just because of the moisture that the vegetables were sitting in that can. I'm seeing some color on the vegetables, and so now I want to add my rice. This was left over. Break it up so it's not in a big chunk while you're stir frying everything together. And then we'll add the salmon bellies. I wanted to leave some whole today so you can see what it looks like. So I baked this salmon and had it last night for dinner. And the leftovers I shredded and I put it with my leftover rice and made a leftover salmon fried rice. We'll let that go for about a minute or so. So while this is finishing up, I'm going to chop some green onions on the bias. And that means that you're going to take your knife, you want to curl your hands, and you take your chef's knife and you want to have it at like an angle so you get that really nice cut for garnish. Just like so. So this has been going for about a minute or two, and now this is when we want to stir in our soy sauce. And now is a good time to start stirring in the black seaweed. I'm not chopping up the black seaweed because it's dried, so it crumbles in my hand as I'm working with it. We'll stir that in, and as the black seaweed is cooking with the stir fry, it starts to get a little softer, but it still has a little chew to it. So it gives you a little bit of texture. So in the event you don't have black seaweed, you can use whatever seaweed is available to you. And that's about done. We're going to turn our heat off. Today, before I plate up my fried rice, I want you to meet my friend, Chef Kim. She helped me forage the black seaweed today that's in the fried rice. Can you tell us about the seaweed?
So the black seaweed, you can find this in Southeast Alaska and you can pick it. For me and my family, we couldn't pick the black seaweed in Haines, Alaska, so we always had to learn how to trade with people from Southeast. We usually traded with people from Cake, so we would pick Hudson Bay tea, soap berries with them, and we would get like almost like a gallon bag of black seaweed. You can eat the black seaweed with the fried rice, and also you can eat the black seaweed, but you got to make sure it's dried black seaweed. Don't ever try to eat it raw.
You could eat it just like popcorn.
We would pick the red ribbon seaweed, and so every seaweed, you would have to dry them. So if you want to, if you have a lawn or somewhere that isn't going to have other animals coming to it, you want to have like a towel out, put them all out and then let them dry out.
Did you eat the seaweed when you were like super little, learning how to walk?
Our grandpa Jake would get the black seaweed for us, for me and my sisters, for Christmas. And he would always have to hide it from us because we would eat like the whole bag. It didn't matter if it was a whole gallon bag, if it was like a sandwich bag, we would just start eating it. And then some of us, we would forget that you can't eat that much. You got to savor it. You got to, save it for another day.
The first time I had black seaweed, I was at an elders potluck, and we decided to put the black seaweed in our cod chowder that we made for the elders. And that was the first experience I ever had with black seaweed, and it was super yummy. The black seaweed added to the chowder some more of a texture and a salty piece. And then as you were eating your soup, it started to get softer and not as crunchy, but I think it gave it that texture factor and more flavor. So we're going to turn off the heat, and now we're ready to plate up. When this fried rice is done, when the rice and the salmon is warm throughout, we're going to garnish with some green onions. Do you want to put some black seaweed on top? And there you have it. Salmon fried rice with black seaweed. Enjoy. Thanks for watching.